We make some very high quality products in India that we then export back to the UK for assembly into our products that are then again re-exported to anywhere else in the world. So when it comes to negotiations between the UK and India, clearly we want to see the minimum amount of barriers, whether they be tariff or non-tariff. Any easing, simplification of that is going to be most welcome.
In India is skills. India will add something like 10 million people to the world. Trade between India and UK is somewhat disappointing. Given the historical links between the two countries, the large Indian diaspora here, common language and legal system and so on, you'd expect much more trade. In 2014, if you looked at exports from the UK to India, they were on the order of 8 billion. And India was 13th in the list of top exporters from the UK. Way down the list, from the US, which is at the top with something like 80 billion, or even China with about 18 billion. And soft infrastructure to help with skills. Partly this is going to be about PR and particularly about the rhetoric around Brexit and looking, to the wider world for trade possibilities. So people might expect that there's going to be some free trade treaty happening sometime soon between India and the UK. I don't think that's going to happen very quickly because those are very complex. The groundwork may be laid for that.
To get out of the trip is obviously more exports to India, like the services of universities or weapons are very controversial.
I think it will be very, very difficult for the British government to make any headway in discussions with India unless we're willing to adopt a more relaxed approach to visas. I mean, that's very clear. I was involved for 5 years in the negotiations involving the European Union and India, trying to encourage the negotiations. And the problem was it ran into the buffers, partly because of problems on the Indian side, but mainly because of British. It wasn't because the other European countries were holding us back, it was because of British objections.
Swipe is a complete automated CRM, and the way we do it is we place an iPad which is facing the customer. Our company employs roughly over 40 people, and that is just under 3 years. And I myself is an entrepreneur visa, and I have really high targets to hit in order to even get a permanent residentship. We struggle to find some particular specialist in UK to get that job done, and ultimately we have to contract it to companies in India doing on a consultative basis, which not always translate the communication problem because they are so far away. Time difference is a problem, and the money involved in paying someone here would be far cheaper than actually having to manage a company there. So yeah, we are still looking for people, but I don't know with Brexit happening, how's the rules and regulation gonna dictate. So we have put that into rest, and we are just trying to use the current pool of talent as much as we can. Selection of rewards that you can select from. So it could be as